Chance at heavyweight greatness. He says he will, quote, unleash the demons. Guinn takes on 6'4", 240-pound Siarhei Liakhovich. Siarhei himself a determined one-loss fighter. Well, for most of his career, Liakhovich has had success against the pedestrian crop of heavyweights that has clogged the midst of this division. Teddy, an example of that work would be the fifth-round knockout he had over Sione Asapelli.
And what that example shows you is fundamentally he's solid. He knows how to go downstairs, then back upstairs. He feints a little bit, gets his man against the ropes, and he picks his spots. So technically, he knows what he's doing.
See the body shot coming in there. That is something that Liakhovich has told us he thinks he does very, very well, and that he wants to show Dominick Guinn plenty of tonight. Here he comes, 1996 Olympian from Belarus. As for his only loss, well, it came here in Atlantic City. He was on the undercard of the Holyfield Rockman night. He was knocked out by Mo Harris, and Siarhei won't spread excuses, but his handlers, they'll gladly tell you he was sick just before and during that bout with Harris. That's because he had a bad reaction to a B12 vitamin shot that he had received prior to the fight in the locker room. And this has to be a much different feeling for Dominick Guinn. He has told everyone that it was the ring walk against Monty Barrett that threw him off that night. He was in front of the home crowd in Arkansas, and he said all of a sudden he felt the weight of the world on him, and he just went blank. Teddy, you can't afford for that to happen again. Have you ever felt you lost a fighter on the ring walk?
It happens. The old timers used to say you can lose it from the locker room to the ring. This game is 75% mental, Joe. Do not ever forget that. No matter how good you are technically or physically, the mental part is the most important part. And that's exactly what Guinn experienced.
For the official introductions, let's check in with Jake Gutierrez.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ballys Atlantic City, here on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey, where tonight, Main Events, in association with Ballys Atlantic City, are proud to present ESPN Boxing Main Event Special. Tonight's bouts are sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. The commissioner is Larry Hazard. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we head right into the action with a special 10-round heavyweight attraction. The three judges scoring this bout will be Lynn Carter, Eugene Grant, and Steve Weisfeld, and your referee in charge is Randy Newman. Introducing first, he's fighting out of the red corner, and he weighed in at 240 pounds. He's wearing the burgundy trunks. His professional record, an outstanding 21 victories with only 1 defeat, 14 wins by knockout. Originally from Belarus, he now lives and fights out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Siarhei Liakhovich. And his opponent, he fights out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 227 pounds. He's wearing the black trunks trimmed in red. His professional record, 25 victories with only 1 defeat, 18 big wins by knockout. From Hot Springs, Arkansas, he is currently rated number 8 by the IBF. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Dominick, the Southern Disaster Guinn.
Okay, gentlemen, you're both familiar with the rules of the state, so we've gone over them. I want you to remember 2 things. Number 1, I want you to obey my commands. But number 2, most importantly, defend yourselves at all times. Now shake hands and come out of the bell.
Randy Newman, the third man inside tonight for Liakhovich and Guinn. A look at the ring experience between these two. Very close numbers. Dominick Guinn, 11 first-round knockouts in his career. 5 of those came in his first 6 fights against lesser competition.
Well, if Guinn's punch numbers can match the number of tattoos that he's wearing, he'll do fine tonight. Because that's the key with Guinn. Move those hands. He has the ability. He's got the amateur background. three-time U.S. national amateur champ, 320 bouts with Guinn. He has power, physical gifts. The thing that he can have problems and has had problems, and specifically had a problem with Monty Barrett, his only loss, not busy enough sometimes.
Right hand to the body comes in from Liakhovich.
Good.
A strong jab there that time from Guinn.
Joe, sometimes being that Guinn is not always busy enough, it would make sense if you were his opponent, as Liakhovich is tonight, not to stand in front of him, not to give him the chance to set his feet and get off. Give him a little bit of movement, but so far Liakhovich not doing that. Deciding to stay in front of Guinn, come at him. We'll see if that serves him.
There's a left uppercut on the inside that time by Dominick Guinn. Teddy, Siarhei Liakhovich not as tight in the midsection as we have seen him in the past. He matches his career high at 240 pounds. He was 240 this past March in his most recent fight. That was a 6-round decision win.
Well, not a lot of activity lately for Liakhovich. 8.5 months since he was in the ring last time. You can get heavy.
Working behind the jab now.
Talked about the amateur background of Liakhovich, or of Guinn. Liakhovich, good amateur background himself. 130 bouts, 1996 Olympic representative for Belarus.
Goes downstairs to the body, and Liakhovich returns fire.
Back him up with the jab, Dom.
Central theme for Dominick Guinn heading into this fight is that he knows that he will not get a third chance at heavyweight greatness.
Well, the main theme that you might have just got a glimpse of, our great fans out there, that the corner of Guinn does not want to see, is Guinn just fell inside with Liakhovich, put his hands behind Liakhovich, did not work. That is not what the people behind Guinn want to see. Again, hand behind him.
Liakhovich and Guinn through one. Ballys in Atlantic City, home to this week's Friday Night Fights main event special, and a good look at Dominick Guinn, the hot prospect in the heavyweight division who hit that speed bump against Monty Barrett last March. Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you ringside. Brian Kenny and Evander Holyfield, our hosts and guest analysts tonight. Look at the punches in round number one. You see Guinn landing 36%, outlanding Liakhovich 21-11. Teddy, it was June of 2003 when you prepared Michael Grant against Dominick Guinn. In your preparation for going up against Guinn then, compared to what you see now, has much changed in how you go after him?
Well, Guinn, right after that fight with Michael Grant, I thought he had improved tremendously. In his next match, he stepped up again with Duncan Takawari, and I thought he showed the gain of confidence from the Michael Grant fight. He was busy, he was in control with a good opponent. After that, he dropped back a little bit, fell back into that shell that his corner and his backers do not want him to be in. And he has a good corner, Guinn. Head trainer Ronnie Shields, former #1 contender, junior welterweight, and Mark Whelan, former Olympic gold medalist and former WBA welterweight champ.
Talking to Dominick yesterday with Ronnie and Mark alongside him, he described them as two old uncles. They gave him a good look, and then he said, no, we'll make that two older uncles. But tries to emulate them. He says, I try to do everything that they say. Of course, they had plenty to say in his outing against Monty Barrett with that split decision loss.
You can see sometimes Guinn will just cover up in front of Liakhovich and gives Liakhovich, Joe, an opportunity to out-hustle him, to score, to grab something in the eyes of the judges. And that is something that he did, and did incorrectly, in his loss to Monty Barrett. He allowed Barrett to grab rounds, steal rounds. Guinn is not always busy enough, but he's got to learn if he's not going to be working, at least don't allow his opponent to work. Don't lay there and just block and allow your opponent those opportunities. Get out of range, and if you're not doing something, make sure your opponent, he's not either.
Liakhovich to the body and then lands cleanly with an uppercut. Now Guinn returning fire. Liakhovich working on the inside again. Teddy's starting to gain some confidence in the second half of this second round.
Well, he's getting it for two reasons. One, because Guinn's not firing back. And the other is Guinn decides to just block. Some action from the last round. Good round for Liakhovich. And you can see right here, getting it done while Guinn is covering up and making that uppercut split the guard of Guinn.
Round number 3 between these heavyweights, Dominick Guinn and Siarhei Liakhovich. In that second round, Liakhovich had a 14-8 edge in power connects, and you heard Ronnie Shields wanting to see Dominick Guinn be very active and accurate with the jab. He was just 6 of 34. I guess the good news would be throwing the 34, but the accuracy and the productivity was down. Right hand to the body, trying to come in with strong efforts. Liakhovich has attempted that lead right hand to the body numerous times so far, blocking well as Guinn comes in. Told you the power punch advantage Liakhovich had in the second round. Here's the total punches. Landed 44%, 20 out of 45.
One of the most noticeable kinks in the armor of Guinn, we talked about it right from the outset, Joe, is that he's just not busy enough sometimes. But one of the other ones is sometimes watch him as he finishes up his punches. As he comes in, he'll fall in. He'll fall forward a little bit, Guinn. That can be dangerous. Right there, you can see his head falling forward as he looked to deliver a punch to Liakhovich. That last foot.
That back right leg.
That last foot of travel for Guinn as he's coming forward can be a dangerous foot. When he starts to fall in, an uppercut, if timed by Liakhovich, can be a really dangerous punch for Guinn and an effective punch for Liakhovich.
Saw the success that Siarhei had in the second round with that uppercut. Something we'll be looking out for.
Guinn not quick on his feet, likes to be set to punch, methodical. Liakhovich, no Muhammad Ali, but giving a little bit of leg movement. Stepping out of range every once in a while, then doing that. Stepping back into range. That little bit of leg movement by Liakhovich, that little diversity is allowing him to have a very good round here and maybe pull ahead in early parts of this fight.
Left hand to the body lands from Guinn.
Just changing distance, something that simple, that subtle, can give you an edge.
And now a body shot of his own from Liakhovich through 3 rounds.
Good work, good work.
Action from the last round, we talked about Guinn being set to punch. Well, he tried to set a big right hand up there as Liakhovich came forward. He missed the right hand, caught Liakhovich on the top of the head with the left hook.
Round number 4, they are scheduled for 10 here in Atlantic City. Siarhei Liakhovich and Dominick Guinn. Liakhovich in that third round, a round that you could see he was gaining confidence. He landed 17 of 24 power shots. That's good for 71%. Many of that work was to the body, and you see the infighting here. An early look at Teddy Atlas's scorecard. Pretty easy to read. Guinn came out and seemed to control and be the aggressor in the first round, and then they reversed course in the second and third round, going Liakhovich's way.
We talked about the danger spots for Guinn. Standing in front, just covering up, allowing Liakhovich to steal the pace. Well, the danger spot for Liakhovich, he'll step out. He'll use his legs and give you different angles and dimensions that Guinn doesn't give you. But when he comes back in, he comes straight in. That's a spot where he could get timed with a big shot. A fight-turning kind of a shot that Guinn will be looking for. And let's not forget, Liakhovich is only lost by knockout.
Guinn behind the jab after Liakhovich landed 3 punches on the inside.
You saw Liakhovich step out, and then he came straight in again. Not a bad idea every once in a while not to come in the front door, Joe. That time he came in with that uppercut we talked about earlier. But again, Liakhovich has to be careful. He steps out, which is good. Doesn't allow Guinn to work, gets him a little off balance. But when he steps in, he's got to be careful that he doesn't step straight in where Guinn can time him. Maybe fake he's coming in once in a while the front door and come a little bit off the side door. Neither fighter making the choice right there to fight on the inside. Both putting their hands behind the other, making a silent agreement. You don't punch, I won't punch.
Last thing Ronnie Shields, the trainer of Dominick Guinn, wants to see. He wanted him to put his punches together at the end of the third round. He was asking him to see the double jab, right hand, hook right hand. It's lucky he's seen a 3-punch combo, let alone a 5-punch combo. Now working with the jab, Guinn. That range on the outside as the pace has slowed here in the final minute of this fourth round.
And with rounds like this, that there's not a lot to separate each guy. Anybody who picks it up a little bit towards the end very well could be stealing those rounds.
From Atlantic City, it is Friday Night Fights, main events special. I'm Joe Tessitore, along with Teddy Atlas, Brian Kenny, our host, and our guest analyst tonight, the real deal, Evander Holyfield. So glad he's with us. You're watching Siarhei Liakhovich wearing the burgundy and Dominick Guinn in the black trunks with red trim. There's a good left hand landing flush from Guinn. Power punches in round 4. Through round 4, you see Liakhovich, who stepped up the pace in the second, third, and fourth round, out to a 56-44 advantage. And the pace picked up here now in round number 5. There's the uppercut again from Liakhovich, Teddy.
The most effective clean punch so far tonight for Liakhovich. He just has to be careful that he doesn't get too carried away with it and throw it from too far away. Evander, the great former champion, he can tell you about that. You throw that uppercut from too far away, and you can get nailed with a counter. Liakhovich better throw it from in close where he's safe and where he does not leave a hole or an opening. That was the punch that Evander Holyfield won the heavyweight title against Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas threw an uppercut, little fat, a little bit too far away, missed. The rest was history. Evander Holyfield counted and grabbed the heavyweight title.
Well, let's hear from him. Evander, how do you see it between Guinn and Liakhovich?
Well, it's a good fight for Liakhovich because Dominick is not busy enough, and he keep fighting the fight that's not his fight. He's not working behind the jab, and he's not throwing enough combination at this time.
We'll hear through the entire evening. We will hear from Evander Holyfield. Of course, Evander has first-hand knowledge of Guinn's preparation for this fight as they sparred together, as Evander prepared for his November bout with Larry Donald. There's that left hand to the body, and Liakhovich follows it up with a right hand upstairs.
And he set up that left hand to the body, Liakhovich did, by going upstairs first, getting Guinn to raise that arm a little bit, and then going downstairs before the arm got back.
Good exchange moments ago. They traded in the middle of the ring.
Once in a while, Guinn will make the mistake while blocking him, letting his hand go a little high to block up top, leaving a hole downstairs.
A fight that will determine the remainder of the careers of these two one-loss heavyweights, Siarhei Liakhovich and Dominick Guinn. Still to come in our main event. A very important fight for two featherweights. And a #1 mandatory position on the line. Rocky Juarez and Guty Espadas, the former champ. Jeremy Shep has a report from the Espadas locker room. Jeremy?
As you can see, Joe, Guty Espadas getting ready right behind me, the former champion. He won the championship in the year 2000 after Nassim Hamed vacated it. He lost it just 10 months later, though, to Eric Morales in a very controversial decision. Since that loss, Guty's only 5-4 in his last 9 fights, including a third-round knockout loss to Eric Morales. He is, though, a very experienced fighter, and he has a great pedigree, one of only 3 fighters who's ever won a championship, whose father won a championship, along with the Spinxes and the Pattersons. And there is Guty Sr. with his son getting ready for him to fight Rocky Juarez in our main event.
Yeah, Jeremy Shep busting out the good boxing trivia. Guty Espadas, Corey Spinks, Tracy Patterson, the 3 sons of world champions who also became champions. It was a very strong 5th round that has energized this crowd here at Ballys. In that 5th round, Guinn landed 28 of 67. Both those numbers in terms of punches thrown and connects, the high totals for his fight.
In this kind of fight, where the rounds have been so close, Joe, when they get inside, both fighters have shown a tendency to not work, to sometimes make that silent agreement, put their hands behind each other, or just lay there. Whoever does not sign on to that contract, onto that silent agreement, that can be enough to carry that fighter to a win, with the rounds being so close otherwise. That alone can separate a winner from a loser.
See the power punches in round 5. Not much defense there, 60% and 51%. You like the work from Guinn towards the end of that 5th round, Teddy. Makes it 48-48. Of course, an even 4th round, 10-10. Teddy, there's been a lot of talk of scoring an even round this week, because Larry O'Connell scored an even round in the Morales-Barrera fight. Had he scored the round 10-9 for Morales, as the other 2 judges did, it would have been a draw this past weekend.
But what it was another terrific fight.
It was a great fight
for those 2 gladiators. And so far, again, you can see the agreement on the inside there between the 2 fighters. Now, right now, who's going to make the decision? And that's something that our great former champion understands very well, Evander Holyfield. Many times he was in that position, but almost all the time he made the choice he was going to punch. Right now, whoever makes that choice on the inside with these 2 fighters, they might get their hand raised at the end of the fight. And so far this round, the man making those decisions a little bit more is Liakhovich.
I agree, Teddy. I get the sense from Guinn that decision could be made for him if Liakhovich would consistently lead and press forward.
In other words, what you're saying, Joe, is that Guinn needs to be forced to fight. He's one of those guys, that's his temperament. And you know what? I don't half disagree with you. Temperament is so important. Forget about technique, forget about physical gifts that God or your parents gave you. Your temperament is what's going to allow you and how you're going to use whatever those gifts are and whatever that knowledge is. The temperament of Guinn is laid back.
Well, he taught the game with that quote of unleashing the demons, but he's got to prove it. We'll have 4 more rounds to do it. Well, you may recall that we were telling you about the high totals and the good work rate by Guinn in the 5th round. In that 6th round, all of a sudden the flip-flop. He landed 9 of 41. his low totals. There's the punches through 6 rounds. Guinn 103 to 97. You see Liakhovich, the higher percentage, more efficient and productive at 39%. And it seems the punches that grab your attention at times, Ted.
And you also see just a second ago, maybe just an added dimension that Liakhovich has shown and Guinn hasn't shown. Just a simple ability to change distance once in a while. Step out, change the look a little bit, and then come back in.
Let's bring in Ronnie Shields, Teddy, and elaborate on that point. And Ronnie, I heard you say to Dominick after the last round, is something wrong with you? Something's got to be wrong with you.
Yeah, because he acted like he fell asleep that last round. He just gave the guy early Christmas gift. Why you gonna give away a round when you look so good in the 5th round? I don't understand it.
Ronnie, it's Teddy here. We know that Dominick has good experience. He's got good tools. He's got 2 real good trainers. But is the battle you're fighting with him all the time his temperament, that he's just a laid-back guy, and maybe, even though people would find this hard to believe, maybe lacking confidence?
Well, I don't think he's lacking confidence, Teddy. I mean, that may be what it is. I mean, I don't know. We've done everything we can in the gym. Sometimes in the gym we have the same problem, and sometimes he just get lazy. I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, after a good round he had in the 5th round, he had the guy. All he had to do was come back in the next round, throw 4-punch combination. I think he could have knocked this guy out.
Thank you, Ronnie. Good luck the rest of the way.
Ronnie Shields, thank you for your time. Minutes ago here in round number 7. What a big spot, Teddy. You touched on it earlier in setting up this fight. What a big spot for Dominick Guinn. This is a guy that, as of a year ago, everybody was so impressed with. He showed the moments, and maybe he has an opportunity here with that last
but he didn't take advantage of it. When he got inside, and I think he heard Liakhovich timed him coming in. Again, we talked about that early, that if there's a wrinkle, if there's a flaw in Liakhovich, it's when he comes in after he goes out. He comes straight in. And Guinn timed it with a good right hand on top of the head. But as you can see here, he's allowed Liakhovich to survive and now have a spot where he's coming back a little bit. Right after that right hand, Joe, Liakhovich fell inside. And we know what he wanted. And now he's using that uppercut inside. He wanted to rest a little bit. The problem for Guinn, he gave him what he wanted. He allowed him to tie up. And he's doing it again right there.
So a short right hand followed up by an uppercut grabs the judge's attention to close out the 7th round. Dominick Guinn heading out for the 8th round against Siarhei Liakhovich, who isn't just hanging around, he's been making the fight. Punches in round 7, they were even 12 apiece, a round in which Guinn for a moment stunned Liakhovich, but Liakhovich seemed to come back in the last 30 seconds, connected with 2 strong power connects. Teddy Atlas's scorecard, 67-67, last round going to Guinn.
Now again, both guys deciding, maybe agreeing not to punch on the inside. In a close fight like this, whoever decides to punch on the inside can win the fight. And there's one other way, a definitive way of separating yourself besides that, and that's the jab. Whoever decides to use the jab, and it's been used sparsely by both fighters, whoever decides to use the jab and just steal moments on the outside, again, that fighter can be the benefactor of a decision in a close fight. Right here, for example, neither fighter doing anything. If one guy would just use that jab, that could be a valuable moment where you can grab those spots where nothing else is happening.
Stop punching, get up.
A look at Ronnie Shields and Mark Breland in the corner of Dominick Guinn. They were very upset after the last round, saying, no more excuses. Let your hands go. We don't want to hear, I didn't let my hands go at the end of this.
Matter of fact, they said more specifically, they said, why'd you grab him? You hurt him. Why the heck did you hold on to him? No answer coming from Guinn. We've talked about the terrific corner of Guinn. Pretty darn good corner with Liakhovich. Kenny Weldon, long-time boxing guy.
That's it. Come on, get out.
And Kenny Adams, been with many world champions, former Army coach. have done a good job in preparing Liakhovich for this big fight. Right now, the fighter stealing those moments with the jab seems to be Liakhovich. Having said all the things that we've said, Joe, and talking about all the different tangibles and intangibles, different dynamics of this matchup, I still think that there's one X factor here. Guinn can make mistakes, and he's made them tonight. I don't know that Liakhovich can afford to make a big mistake. I think Guinn can survive them. Liakhovich, and it might still come down to this. I don't know if he can survive him. And he lands a big right hand there on Guinn, but Guinn shows the chin to survive.
A little early holiday treat for our ESPN boxing fans with this Friday Night Fights. In 2005, this network plans a very impressive showcase of boxing, and it all gets started with a strong January. Brian Kenny has a look ahead.
Next month, Friday Night Fights rings the bell on another new and exciting season. Once again, we will showcase boxing luminaries and be there as tomorrow's rising stars pound their way to the top. On January 21st, in a main event special from Houston, we'll see WBA lightweight champion Juan Diaz. The undefeated Baby Bull returns to the ring in pursuit of a larger stake in the lightweight division. Friday Night Fights, your boxing authority, is back.
Looking forward to seeing Juan Diaz as we take a look at the Ring Magazine lightweights. Jose Luis Castillo. You see Juan Diaz there, number 4. Of course, he is a world champion, but this is a wonderful division with the depth of names that you see in front of him. And the big showdown tomorrow night in the lightweight division. Jose Luis Castillo taking on the former junior lightweight champion, Joel Casamayor, Teddy.
A lot of talent in that division and a terrific matchup with the hard-punching Castillo. Maybe Casamayor maybe having a little bit of an advantage of the ability to box a little bit more. Interesting matchup.
Well, things better get interesting in these last 2 rounds for the master plan of Dominick Guinn to succeed here. You see the punches through round 8. The punch stats look pretty even, but in many of these rounds, the superior work that you would probably score on the ledger of the side of Liakhovich has come there. Liakhovich in that 8th round landed the big right hand, and through 8 rounds he holds an edge in power shots 110 to 92.
Liakhovich better be careful. He's looking for that uppercut. If he throws it from too far away, he can get nailed.
Pulls ahead on Teddy's scorecard 77-76 based on that 8th round.
You know, Joe, when I watch Guinn, you know what I think about? I think about baking. You ever bake?
No, Teddy.
All right, well,
leave that to the wife.
Okay, your wife does the baking. She bakes cakes?
She does.
All right, I look at Guinn. He looks like a good cake. Like everything is right.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you look at it and you say, wow, that's a great cake. But then you cut it open and you say, gee, I missed something. I just missed putting a little something in there, a little spice. Just something. The eggs were there, the flour's there, it rolls well, it stood well, it's firm. But when you cut it open, you just say, Jesus, what's missing? And I'm sure the people right now with Guinn are asking that question. He looks good, he knows how to fight, he's got ability, what's missing?
Right hand came over the top that time.
Again, 2 things, and you don't have to look further than that. They can carry this fight for both fighters. Who uses the jab on the outside? Look on the outside, nothing happening. If somebody uses that jab, that fighter can grab valuable seconds, valuable moments in a close fight. On the inside, whoever punches, we'll watch right here. Who's going to make the decision to punch? Nobody. Right now, the only thing going on is when both fighters come towards each other, both looking to time each other with fight-ending punches. Right there. Looked like Liakhovich's right hand got there first. Watch again, Joe. Nothing going on the outside with a jab. That time, Liakhovich makes me a liar. But both fighters are going to look now to time each other.
Teddy, this is a close fight, and that's not good news for Dominick Guinn.
Oh, that's it.
Mark Breland, Ronnie Shields,
Right back down. Let your hands go.
Oh, the frustration mounting. The corner of Dominick Guinn. His second chance at heavyweight greatness. He was the hot prospect just a year ago. The guy who most of the experts felt would clearly be in line to own the heavyweight title in the coming years. The American hope.
This round can be the telling round of this fight and of both fighters' careers.
I think that's pretty even. 140 punches apiece through 9 rounds. Teddy Atlas's scorecard. An even 9th round. Liakhovich 87 to 86.
This is the kind of fight that was made for even rounds.
Teddy, I will say this. This is a close fight that could go Guinn's way. Regardless of the outcome, this was not the night Dominick Guinn was looking for.
No, it wasn't. He wanted to come back and show people what they thought 9 months ago before his loss to Monty Barry when he was undefeated, that, yeah, I'm the heir to the throne with the old timers. He wanted to erase that memory and put back the thought that was there before, that he's the young dog that's going to take over for the old Lions. So far, not the case. And with this valuable round up for grabs, just look for both guys to do that. Look to time each other coming in. That's where it is. And on the inside, who punches? Right now, it's Liakhovich.
Uppercut moments ago, Liakhovich back to the body.
That uppercut has been there for Liakhovich all night long for one simple reason. Guinn leaned forward just a notch on the inside, making himself too close to that punch and vulnerable to that punch.
Goes by the nickname the White Wolf, does Siarhei Liakhovich. When asked why, he'll tell you because he's a smart animal with a strong personality. Well, he's fought fairly smart against Dominick Guinn, and he's had the stronger personality in terms of who wants to make the fight tonight, Teddy.
Well, if he needed this round to win this fight, he may have just done that. He is handily controlling this round, Liakhovich. Again, neither fighter making a decision to punch on the inside. That must frustrate Evander Holyfield just watching. Because he was the kind of fighter that always made the choice to punch when in that position. Well, the choice is going to be up to the judges in a few minutes.
28-year-old Siarhei Liakhovich with a strong effort to finish up against Dominick Guinn. We will come back and hear the judges' scorecards. Stay with us.
Hey.
Well, there's Teddy Atlas's scorecard. Liakhovich taking the last 3 rounds, 97-95 according to Teddy. By the way, CompuBox punch stats, Liakhovich landed more total punches and had 25 more power punches. Let's head up to the ring to Jake Gutierrez.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of tough heavyweight action, we go to the scorecards. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Stephen Weisfeld scored this bout 96-94. Judge Lynn Carter scores it 97-93. And Judge Eugene Grant scored the bout 96-94. All for the winner by unanimous decision, Siarhei Liakhovich.
Boy, is he excited. The former Olympian from Belarus who came to this country to find success as a pro boxer. He was in Atlantic City back in June of 2002 when he was knocked out by Mo Harris. His handler says it was an anomaly. He had a bad reaction to a shot he took. He proved it true tonight. A steady and strong effort. He gets the win over Dominick Guinn. Let's head up to the ring to Jeremy Schaap. Jeremy?
Joe, again, a very impressive win for Siarhei Liakhovich, the underdog in this fight. Siarhei, just a year ago, Dominick Guinn was considered the man with the future among heavyweights, particularly American heavyweights. What did you have to do tonight to win?
You know, I do my best. You know, I box, I punch. So I think I won this fight.
Well, one of the things that won the fight for you was the uppercut. You found a home for that uppercut. At what point in the fight did you realize that that could be such an effective punch? Was it coming into the fight, or was during the happening of the fight?
Yeah. Coming in, we worked on that over and over. We had a boxer that simulated the guy we're fighting. We had James Walton. Thank you, James. He simulated the other guy really well and gave us a good opportunity to practice.
Sergey, what was the key?
First of all, thanks God for who gave me this opportunity, great opportunity. Thank Lou DiBella. It's my promotion. Thank my managers.
Well, Sergey,
thank you my fiance Irina, who support me every time, and thank you.
Congratulations, Sergey. It's a great win. We're going to throw it up now to Brian Kenny.